Welcome back to the show, everybody. Bang! Activate wind power. Power Rangers Beast Morphers, episode number 12. Real steel. But before we get into the mix, because we got a lot to compact here. Couple pairs of people I want to shout out, man. Shout out to little brother Betty Cakes. That boy Young Ben with the jumper, son. I'm like, yo, I am like, you could look at the boy young little brother Betty Case and see that he got a J, son. Like Jordan 9 ain't with the jumper. I'm like, damn, son. Like, yo, like they sitting up here showing what we got. That boy sat up here, went to he sat up here. Let me quit humming that for NBC. Come for this video. You know what I'm saying? I love that. Round Ball Rock, man. I'm like, you couldn't have told me the dude that was hosting Entertainment Tonight back in the '88. I don't even remember when John Taylor was on that show. But I'm like, he made the song Round Ball Rock. So, note to self, go play the NBA on NBC. Okay. I'll play NBA on NBC on the Dreamcast at some point. But yeah, but one more time. Shout out to that jumper. The flick of the wrist. That's the key to the jumper. We talked about this on the show before. The flick of the wrist. Wow. Just like that, hit on one of them. You gotta cross them up, get them swoop over there. But yeah, this show was a lot about basketball and emotional meaning and stuff. We'll come back around to that. Something about Zoe Cakes and Nate and shit. We'll get back to that. Shout out to L Blaze because you did do this and you quite kind of sort of took one of these. So it was a draw. Can we do a D? Yeah. Well, technically, L Blaze lost, but he kind of won because the Robotron put the work in. You know what I'm saying? The Clonetron thing shot the thing and made problem for the Rangers for 5 seconds, which ultimately they got over because of brother love and all of those stuff. But yeah, weirdly enough, the reason why I bring this up is that there was no Evox and there was no Roxy Cakes in sight at all. So you guys had like a real good going plot point of stealing Ranger powers, and well, we just throwing that out the window because, hey, writing TV shows. So, yeah, it's cool. You're all forgiven. It's fine. I'm not going to sit up here and get out this review without bringing it up, and I brought it up. So, let's get to what you came here for, what I came to talk about. This episode's gooey emotional center. I'm like, we're still currently in this mode where we're trying to explore the relationship between Nate and Steele. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna put some real on this. As someone who is an older brother, I have a little sister, and you know, we haven't always seen eye to eye. We see eye to eye now because of we've grown up and we understand, but there was a time me and my sister didn't see eye to eye for a very long time, but I still love her. You know what I'm saying? I still love her, always will. And that's what this episode was. It's that because I don't want, you know what, we'll call it that. This honeymoon phase, because of what the show is trying to do to try to not only get over this relationship, but to expand and evolve said relationship between these two brothers, right? Still trying to become more human and understand the human side of him, even though, yeah, that you are a beast by, and that's fine. We get that. But, you know, Nate is still in this mode where you got what you wanted, but you still don't quite understand the responsibilities that come with that. Because there's a responsibility in being a sibling. You're supposed to watch out for your people. You know what I'm saying? Even you're supposed to watch out for your people, period. But it's even on a deeper level. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to get into the stories of the time where Big Brother had to be Big Brother in a way Big Brother got to be Big Brother, but I've had to do that for my sister. Hell, my sister had to do the same for me. She had to sit up here, help me get out a couple scrapes, you know what I'm saying? Because that's how you look out for your family, you know what I'm saying? And understanding that part of the gooey emotional center of the episode, of them sitting up here, and it's not all perfect all the time. You're going to have disagreements. It's that, I tell the missus this all the time. I am not a mind reader, because if I was, I'd be reading minds and using it to take over the world. But regardless of me saying I'm going to take over the world with mind reading, if I could, is that you have to learn how to communicate. A lot of this episode could have been avoided, like in a real life situation, if Nate would have just told Steele, I'm not a hoop, bruh. You know what I'm saying? And still being in the same situation because he trying to learn. You could have went to the family and be like, yo, Devin, I need to learn show me how to shoot that jumper, fam. And it's like, that's it. But without that, you wouldn't have had the emotional gooey center of this episode and all the craziness with Clontron and things like that. Because again, last episode we saw that boy Devin heated, and it's interesting to see that the show is really truly exploring that everything ain't hugs and Hallmark cards all the time. Is that Nate is really perplexed and like, I'm trying to build these super weapons for later in the season, so still chill out, fam. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, for them to go through that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and when I think about it, now that I just thought about it, yeah, this is the perfect episode where you do your evil ranger trope thing. This is the perfect episode, because not only is that you need to get that out the way because you got to get that check mark on the list, but more importantly, it's a helpful narrative device, especially that part when it's the technical Mexican standoff in the lab of which one of you is real. For them still to step up and be, I overheard you talking to Zoe Cakes and blah this, blah that, and if you'd have just told me, come give me a hug, and everything was good, because come give me a hug. I don't know when the next time I'm going to be able to fit come give me a hug in a review, so I'm going to abuse the privilege. But yeah, knowing that, monsters can be used as narrative devices. It's not the first time Power Rangers have ever done this, Hell Sentai or Kamen Rider or whatever, but it won't be the last time. But to use it in this instance, especially, again, trying to get to the emotional gooey center of the episode, and Nate and still understanding and still trying to build this relationship, and Zoe sitting up her being the emotional center, and this is different than the emotional gooey center, you know what I'm saying, because Zoe Case is Zoe Case, of trying to get Nate to understand that, because again, because I don't know if the show ever mentioned whether or not Zoe has siblings or whatever, but you could either take it from that standpoint, or you could really take it from the standpoint of you not being as smart as you claim because of your interactions with people up until this point. But because I care about you, let me school you to the game on something like that. And I really think that that's great for all the characters involved, because not only because Zoe and Nate must kiss because that ship is destiny, because it is, don't deny me, but more importantly, you need that kind of character building, especially for a character like Nate, because the Nate we met in episode 1 is not the one we talking about right now. He's still doing his lab thing. He just stepped onto the battle lines and all of that. You've gained you a robot brother who's half human because, things or whatever and writing or whatnot. And you are trying to still not only understand yourself in this new world that you've built for yourself because of the decision that you've made, but also understanding how that choice affects you immediately, the people that are affected by it, and the others around you. And I'm like, I know that people may be locking this and like, yo, Trip, you reaching. Not really. Because think about relationships you have. You know what I'm saying? Think about how your relationships with other people affect not only you and them, but the people surrounding it. And given this is a team of superheroes, that's important. That's important to understand, know, and drill home. That this building this relationship, because I talked about it, last episode too, and it's again to bring it up, is that unlike in that episode with Betty Cakes and little brother Betty Cakes, aka Jumper Betty, free throws, that it didn't really affect combat. This did, because after the basketball debacle, when L Blaze like, yo, Tronics get him, where I'm like, that part was kind of crazy, like, yo, where the monster at? Over here. Yeah, y'all see it? No. L Blaze like, sup, baby, it's L Blaze in the house. Go put us some work. And work got put in Tronics, and all that happened, and still ran over and saved Young Juice because he beefing with his brother. And then you get shot and stuff. But regardless of all that, though, understanding and knowing that that's important, that these relationships are being built, and that, yeah, that when your personal stuff bleed out into the field, it has an effect, because the Robotron got away. L Blaze took his draw and left. And it's like, and you still had this lingering beef that went through the whole episode. But again, you know, Hugs and Zoe Case being Nate's emotional center, because, given again, I'm going to say this because I don't know if I made it clear when I said it earlier. Nate Silver is a different kind of character because of who Nate was, and is becoming. Those are 3 different levels of things. Right, 3 levels of things. Of understanding that he was just a dude in the science lab cooking the work. But then we slowly discovered that Nate's been lonely. He didn't really have any friends. And then now that he's gained these friends, gained the thing that he always wanted in a brother, we're seeing that change in him as we go along, because your situation is steadily evolving with the people you around evolving with. And it's like, again, I'm like, people probably looking at this like, yo, Trip, you reaching, but, you know, I don't need to write a TV show to sit up here and to look at this on a deeper level to understand that that's how real life works. Because if you haven't figured it out by now, these reviews are a lot different than everybody else's, because not only am I reviewing the episode, but I'm taking a look at the characterization and how to sit up here and really get through to you about how much real life it is, even if that's not what's being put on the page and for and why. Because that's how I do it. Better than anybody in the business, don't you know? So it is what it is. But yeah, great episode overall, you know what I'm saying? Work got put in, you know what I'm saying? Checkmark the trope of Clone Rangers, and, you know, we've done the deal. It'll be interesting to really see again, trying to continue, especially like I mentioned earlier. No Roxy Cake, so no immediate continuation on the stealing power stuff, but, you know, L Blaze got a D, so he took the draw, and everything's okay with Nate and Steele, and Zoe Case and Nate do this. But I'm like, if they wouldn't have let the interracial couple from last season kiss, I highly doubt. Well, no, this Hasbro may let it happen. You know what I'm saying? Like My Little Pony, blah blah blah. But look, regardless of that, we have got plenty of more show for you. Yes, you. Plenty of more show for you. Yo, forgot who it is that I is. Please pop that. I'm, of course, the one on the triple the G.O.D, a.k.a. Mr. C-R-A-C-K-C-O-C-A-I-N-E, hashtag entertainment's #1 dope man. And, of course, I am the baddest monster in existence. Bang. Always got my 6 all day, every day, squish murder, random squadron, the congregation, may they be praised. Betsy, Magdalene, Miss Monster, holding down the 1s, the 2s, the 3s, and the 4s. We stay winning, creeping up, and never losing round here. You know what it is. Yo, you made it to the end of this and you ain't done these things? Subscribe button, hit that. Bells to be reminded that we do what we do. Like the video if you do, dislike it if you don't, and either way, leave a comment, man. Let me know how you feel. Social media links down there, and if you want to get that cash money to support this show, you can do it either PayPal or do it Patreon. And the user shout out to my patrons, my boy Drew, aka Young Moneybags, and my man Ryan Obama holding down the streets. Look, sit back, relax, stay tuned. More show for you. Yes, you. More show for you. Yeah, because this is why we do it. More show for you. And we, as the squadron, that's us. We got that for you right after these. What? Oh, these bang commercial messages. Oh, and did I forget? Nate got dunked in a hoop like NBA Jam. That was kind of weird. Well, not kind of weird. It was kind of funny, but I'm like, yo, that was like that ending. I'm like, yo, that basketball. I'm like, Nate can't dribble. I'm like, still traveling. I'm just like, oh, God. I'm like, it's like 95 all over again, man. You know what? Note to self. Play NBA Live 95 on SNES. Okay, I'm going to have to do that place, man. That's my jam back in the NBA Live 95. With the jam, the TEs, the hang times, you know, things like that. Look, more show for all of you right after these commercial messages.